Alright, first off is going to be Pleasant Park. It's an area just south of Wailing Woods on the east side of the map. It's a very secluded area, not very popular, not many people go there, but it's a wooded area with a watchtower in the center, a bunch of kind of huts along the sides where you can find little minor weapons like handguns and shotguns, and a gift shop area. Gift shop area is the only place I find here worth looting, as there is the potential for up to 3 chests in the one place, and I've even found in duos scars in the bottom room. But this is where I'm about to land, is the gift shop area. It's on the far northern side of the camp. It's the more popular spot here to go. I usually find at least one other person here with me, and in this game I'm going to as well. But you can find usually a chest in both wings of the building. On the opposite side of the building, there should be another one. It's the same room. And in this case, I do hear somebody land on the bottom floor, and I'm gonna move to get him. But Lonely Lodge is definitely a good spot if you're looking for some basic starting weapons. It's not going to give you great stuff to start out with, but it is enough to get you on your feet. It's not very popular, so you're not going to see very many people. You will maybe see a few at most, but you're not going to see that many people coming around here. And there's up to, I think, 6 chests here, 3 in this building I'm in right now. Potential of 1 in the watchtower, another one in a kayak shack, which I'm going to visit in a minute, and another one is in the river underneath like a little cave mouth. So you can find all of those sometimes in this room, and I do happen to find all 3 of the chests in this one. They happened to spawn whenever I was here, so I got some really good starting equipment, including some hand grenades, green guns, bush, which I'm not a huge fan of, but if you're into bushes, that you can find some of them here, hopefully. But that's a good, just 3 starting out chests right there, and then you can take whatever equipment you get here and go over into Trailer Park and even Retail Row. It's not very far from those 2 areas, and clean up the remnants over there. Maybe scavenge some better gear. This is definitely one of my least favorite spots to go in squads. It's definitely not enough loot for squads. But if you're going solo, definitely consider it. It's not very popular, so it leaves you a good chance of getting some pretty decent stuff to start out with. Alright, so next up, number 4 on the list will be Retail Row. It's one of my less popular places to go, but whenever I'm playing with Fred Plays and his group, we usually have to go to this place. It's pretty good on loot, but you need to make sure you stick together. It's very good for getting squads, lots of loot very fast. You just need to make sure you stick together and win your gunfights. It's a very popular spot if you're coming in on this side of the river. I like to divide it into 2 different distinct districts of the town. One being residential area and one being retail area. Retail has all the shops and stuff. There's usually some better just lying around equipment. That'd be green weapons, blue weapons even, just lying around on the ground. But I prefer to go to one of the houses because it gives you maybe even up to 2 chests. Almost every house in residential area has a chest in it. You can usually find a chest above the kitchen or in the attic, so if you land on the attic, you can probably find one pretty easily. I just recommend winning gunfights in this situation. Since it's just so popular, you're definitely going to be thrown into some. And in solos, it's not such as a good spot as it would be in squads, because squads, you end up with these big, like, team fights where one team has won all of residential, and one team has won all of retail side, and then those 2 squads who are all really stacked on armor and are already kind of weakened a little bit from fighting other squads have now got to fight over the entire town. I would recommend closing the doors behind you for sure, because it gives you an early warning system if somebody's coming up behind you and you're not paying attention. In this situation, I've gotten in a gunfight, or I hear somebody shooting a submachine gun outside. I'm trying to figure out where that's at and pinpoint the location, in which case I'm going to see him jumping out. So you definitely need to be careful about your surroundings and paying attention to where other players are. If you see a bunch of people landing inside your building, you need to make sure you pick a different spot, or you can even land outside just outside of town, and then like grab a shotgun from a hut and then bring it inside and kill some people that way. Definitely, like I said, you need to win gunfights to get the better loot. I think it's all about, in retail, it's all about chaining those kills. If you get 1 kill, then at least another kill, and by the time you know it, you got 200 wood, 200 metal, and some really good green and blue weapons. There is a chance you can get, there's pretty much a chest in every house, possibly 2, and then There's some really good spots actually in town, the retail area, where you can get lots of really good chests, up to like I think it'd be like 6 or 7 chests in just the retail area. I think this area is very good for chest looting. It's very popular too. So if you're not ready for gunfights, I wouldn't suggest jumping into this area quite yet. But retail is definitely a good spot to jump, and it's number 4 on my list. Alright, so that's up number 3. It's a very popular spot for me and Tread Plays and the rest of us, Corey and Gavin and Ian. We like to go here if we're on the opposite side from prison and we want to get down very quickly and get some gunfights. We are pretty competent gunmen, so we're pretty used to getting in some quick gunfights. It's just in Pleasant Park, it's all about getting to a gun first. If you land first and get to a gun first, you can usually win. And this is where you're gonna get some really good loot. If you can chain your kills together, go from just house to house, and your squad gains superiority over the map or the town, you can really get some really good loot and share it up together. But there's really chests lying around everywhere. There's some open public areas like the one I just landed in at the picnic area. There's one in the soccer field, another one in the garage behind the soccer field, another one in a little shack or like a gazebo just north of the area I'm in right now. And those are all like some more public areas without landings of the houses and being in danger. You can easily get a chest and already be pretty well armed. And I just landed and got a shield pod and a burst rifle, so I'm already ready for a fight. I think this area is good for squads. It can help you, especially if you work together and communicate on which side of the map you're going to land on. You can get some really good loot really fast, and then you're going to dominate the rest of the game. If you're going solo, I'd suggest you have to be able to win your gunfights if you're going to go here. And I'd recommend being able to get in and out quickly. You have to grab a gun and get out fast and always stay on the move. It's more of a hit and run kind of area. Moving around, because if you sit around for too long, someone's going to come up behind you and shoot you in the back. Overall, though, this place has some of the best loot. There's definitely some really good guns here, up to like some scars and some sniper rifles if you're into that kind of stuff, or even grenade launchers. You can find chests pretty much everywhere. Every house has got at least a chest, pretty much. Possibly up to 2. Like I said, they're usually above the kitchen or in the attic, or both. So if you get a chance and you're on the opposite side of the river from retail, this is always a very good spot to go to, and you should find some pretty good loot. Alright, next up, number 2 on my list. It's kind of a joint number 2 with Anarchy Acres and Fatal Field. The two are very similar areas, so it just depends on which side of the map you're jumping in on, Anarchy or Fatal. Anarchy is in the northern side of the map, and Fatal's in the southern side of the map. They're completely opposite sides of the map from each other, and they pretty much have a very similar layout. There's a few areas you can land in here, and you can get some pretty easy loot. In Anarchy, there has to be a farmhouse you can get some pretty good loot in, as well as a silo. There's a hidden chest in the silos, a stable where there's a hidden chest in the top floor, where you can get some pretty good stuff. The farmhouse is usually a pretty good spot. There's usually 2 chests, one inside the attic and one in the lower area above the kitchen and the bathroom. I prefer landing either in the farmhouse itself, which is where I've been landing whenever we go here. I usually land here. This is my loot spot, where you can land. I like to also land right in front of the farmhouse, but in between everything, so I'm where I can assist my team much easier. But if I'm solo, I'm definitely going to the farmhouse and trying to get a pump shotgun or a pistol quick so I can win that gunfight. I think this Fatal and Anarchy are very similar, and they're very easy to get lots of loot on and get some starting gear. If you're going to go for the big loot like scars and such, this isn't probably the best place. I have seen a few scars just lying around, actually. One just out in the open I got off a drop. And it's easy to fortify as well. There's some good fortifiable locations outside of the town and inside the town where you can set up if circles falling. This one was a particularly good game for me. I ended up getting 8 kills by the end of this one. So I got some really good loot off some kills. And again, this is all about it's all about chaining kills. I ended up making top 10 on this one, so if you chain kills, you get some good armor and some good weapons, you should be fine. I really like this place for squads. It's really good at getting your whole team ready in a short amount of time, especially if you can rapid loot. And Anarchy or Fatal Fields is the exact same way. It's pretty well. It's almost the exact same layout and just as good loot. So depending on what side of the map you're on, you can go to one of those two areas. You should find some pretty good stuff. But that's Fatal and Anarchy, guys. So that's my number two, kind of joint number two, and next up is going to be number one. Alright, so this is my all-round number one favorite spot to go to. If you watch any of my videos, if you watch any of Aiden's live streams, you'll know that our favorite spot in the entire game to go to is prison. It's a good spot. Many people hate it. I personally love it. It's my favorite spot. I have my own little loot route I run in here, which is kind of unique to this joint. I don't really have a loot route I run anywhere else. It's actually in a building. But this is my only loot route I run inside of a building. It's a very big area with it can actually be pretty easy to miss people and actually have people staying alive for a long time is at the same area you are, which is very interesting to see. Like some pretty decked out people meeting up like way later on in the game, and they've been into the same building the entire, or they've been into the same area the entire time. This area, it's really all about getting to the ground first and getting a gun. Usually, if in solo especially. If you're in squads, it's not so much, but you need to get a chest pretty quickly. There are, I think, up to 7 or 8 chests, 3 in the tower, up to 3 in jail cells, 1 in the cafeteria area, and one more in the main hallway building on the top floor. You can find some pretty good stuff here. I've seen a few scars, some sniper rifles, and some explosives like grenade launchers. Mostly, though, you're going to find lots of pump-action shotguns and some tactical shotguns, as well as submachine guns and a few assault rifles. If you're able to chain some kills, you can gradually upgrade your weapons and make them a bit better. Usually, you're going to end up seeing, on solos especially, you're going to be seeing like a bunch of people just 1v1ing, and whoever's like the last man standing is going to be pretty dead on loot at the end. It's just a matter of him keeping most of his health in the end anyways. In this case, I've just killed 2 people to get my stuff, and I'm really low on loot and don't have very many bandages or ammo. So I basically got to find somebody to kill if I'm going to win the game. I like this place. If you're a talented gunman, you're experienced at the game, you know what you're doing, I would really recommend this place. It's very good to go and get a good start on and get some pretty good loot early on. If you can win your fights, you're pretty set. And then, as always, me and my team like to harvest the metal here and use it later on. We can get up to 1,000 metal from this place up around, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. 500 apiece usually whenever we play duos. But that is my top 5 list. This is my number 1. Make sure to let me know which your favorite place to jump is in the comments. And I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching, guys.